Next video we're gonna be watching is one from Reggie. We haven't watched one from Reggie in a while. Um, this one was requested. I used karaoke and schizophrenia to ruin Japan in Yakuza 7. I am afraid. I I don't know what to expect from this because it's Reggie and it's Yakuza, so I yeah, let's just go ahead. Let's get
This
into it.
video is sponsored by War Thunder. Yakuza Like a Dragon. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. Yakuza Like a Dragon, alternative title Yakuza This Game Would Be a Lot Shorter If We Killed People, is the digital manifestation of an identity crisis. Because at one moment you could be helping a sick child collect donations, and the next you're firing a rocket launcher into a crowd of peaceful protesters.
Yeah, the way I think I played a couple hours of, I want to say Yakuza 0. It was either 0 or 1. I can't remember. But I played like a couple hours, but all I know from the Yakuza series is like random lore dumps and memes. And it's like the side games, whenever I see like the side games or fights or the wackiness, the outlandish fuckery that is happening is just like, it's a fever dream. Ugh.
Is Eric Andre, an ex-Yakuza on a personal crusade to depopulate the world of Japanese men in suits. Which is okay, because you are canonically schizophrenic. That's not a joke, it's a game mechanic, and it allows for a wide variety of strange and intoxicating interactions. But we're not the only neurodivergent king on these streets. In fact, there's a whole cast of deranged lunatics all competing to become the dominant psychopath. Can we navigate criminal organizations and corrupt political parties, or will they send us back to a padded cell? There's only one way to tell, so let us begin.
The way that was like edited and put together, like there's just the random flashes of what was in the game, and it's like if you showed that to somebody who never heard of the Yakuza games, probably isn't a gamer in general, and you showed that to them and you asked them, now what do you think this game is about? What do you think this gaming series is about? What the fuck do you think they're gonna answer with? Because it's not gonna be Yakuza. That is not gonna be their first thought.
The first character we're introduced to is Masumi Arakawa. Allow me to summarize his childhood. Cross-dress for money, commit a series of stabbings. Here's a necklace made of currency. Now your mother steals it, threatens to kill you, and then cuckolds your dad. But hey, at least he offers to take you out for dinner. And today's special is gun. Worst of all, he ate it all without you. Truly traumatizing. But that was all 30 years ago, and now Arakawa is a Yakuza patriarch in the Tojo clan, and also our boss. We are Ichiban Kasuga, a low-level Yakuza whose entire existence is dedicated to taking a nearly lethal amount of L's. But it's alright, because sometimes we do cool shit too, like giving this man brain damage for looking too much like Owen Wilson. We met Arakawa 8 years ago when he chopped his finger off to save us from the gay agenda. Since then, we've been his most loyal follower, and sometimes he sends us on errands. Like right now, we're going to go babysit his 23-year-old son, who is paralyzed from the waist down. Because apparently, putting your child in a locker and punching it 25 times is not a sustainable parenting strategy. Anyway, we take this guy, the young master, to a strip club, but he's worried that the strippers will tie his legs in a knot again. So he decides to inject himself with experimental piss just so he can stand up for a few hours. Then he chooses to spend the entire next cutscene sitting down anyway. Brilliant, genius, truly one of the humans of all time. So the night goes terribly and we make our way back to the office, where our captain Joe Swanson threatens to cut our finger off, because owning fingers and being a Yakuza are mutually exclusive experiences. Fortunately, we're saved from having to circumcise our hand when Arakawa asks us to go out for food. Unfortunately, the restaurant's closed, so as a consolation, he offers us to spend 15 years in jail for a crime we didn't commit. Turns out Sawashiro made a little fucky-wucky and killed someone from another gang last night, which is a big deal. But if a low-level goyim such as ourselves did it, it's a lot easier to play off. So I agreed to take the fall. And yes, this entire game is an exciting experiment in determining just how many cutscenes you can put in a row before I kill myself. After agreeing to take the blame, we have a brief moment to finally play the game. And since I'm going to jail anyway, I decided to take this opportunity to actually kill several people. Alright, now we can turn ourselves in. Who knows, maybe we'll even beat the allegations.
Guilty.
Okay, so we're in prison, and all the other Asians are jealous of how efficiently we assemble chopsticks. It doesn't take long before they start beating us.
You actually get to, like, have, like, gameplay and cutscenes in the jail? I didn't know that. I thought it was just, like, straight up you start it, and then you get sent to jail, and then it's like a time skip type situation. I didn't know you actually got to. Oh god. Oh no.
Up. Fast forward a bit. It's 2019.
Yeah, okay.
We've been raped 700 times and assembled
Not
13 million
trauma.
chopsticks, which according to society means we are psychologically reformed, and it's time to leave. But no one is waiting for us. Not Arakawa, not Sawashiro, just this guy, Koichi Adachi, a former police officer who wants our help investigating the commissioner for not reciprocating his nudes. Instead, we tell him to piss off and we go get a haircut. I ask the barber to fuck my shit up, and they oblige. After that, I meet a man hanging around a playground with a camera, suspicious, and after saving him from some good Samaritans, we find out a lot has changed while we've been away. Primarily, Arakawa betrayed the Tojo clan and became a high-ranking member of their rival, the Omi Alliance. Also, the young master, yeah, he died of monkeypox.
What?
Kasuga doesn't handle the news well, so we decide to team up with Adachi and infiltrate an Omi Alliance meeting to confront Arakawa. We track down this meeting and take our time carefully, quietly, professionally, sneaking past all of the security, eventually making our way.
Alright, see, now that's basically me in every stealth game. Any stealth mission, any type of stealth situation in a game. That's how subtle and stealthy I am.
To the meeting room. Well, except Adachi. He stays behind to fight a helicopter or something. We proceed into the meeting area only to find Sawashiro, who is displaying an unusual form of gratitude after we spent 18 years assembling chopsticks for him. But 22 haymakers and 1 hand grenade later, he was on his ass. Now finally, we can confront Arakawa, our boss, Kasuga's father figure, and see what all of this is about. It, doesn't go well. We regain consciousness in a pile of garbage, which is a humbling wake-up call usually reserved for members of the crystal meth community. But I guess we should be grateful to be alive. This man, this hobo, if you will, saved our life. His name is Namba, and he's homeless, which means he does quirky things like breathing on women and pushing people into traffic. But he's also a nice guy and explains a few things to us. First of all, we're in a different city now. We started in Tokyo, but we're currently in Yokohama, which is controlled by the Ijin 3, a collection of Chinese, Korean, and Japanese mafias. Think of it like Neapolitan ice cream, but with Asians. And while a confectionery made out of Asian men wasn't on my 2024 wish list, it's at least working in our favor.
Now I'm craving ice cream, and I think I actually have some. Okay, we need to watch this, and then I need to go get ice cream.
Because these factions are reluctantly cooperating with each other to keep the Omi Alliance out of the city. Since we've got nothing else to do, we set out to learn the art of making money from a man who has no money. We start by scavenging coins, but that's cringe, Namba. The real man recycles, because here in Japan, recycling is a matter of life and death. You get this shitty little bicycle and go around town collecting cans. However, you're not the only crackhead trying to make a buck. Kill the competition. Now, steal all of their cans and flee the scene. Just watch out for the garbage trucks. We can then exchange our recyclables for very terrible items and a handful of cockroaches. This minigame is kind of not worth it, but if for some reason you feel a deep emotional need to get an S on every level, then congratulations, you're now a Yakuza fan. After that, we head back to our garbage house just in time to be extorted by Zheng, a member of the Liumang Mafia. For my fellow Guailos, that's Chinese. I am a courageous man, so I hide in a cardboard box, but that doesn't work so well.
Hey, how's it going?
Huh?
and after being discovered, I decide to partake in a classic Japanese pastime, exacerbating racial tensions. Namba starts by using pigeons to literally eat this man alive, while we target Zheng and spam our only ability, brain damage. After physically annihilating these guys, I make sure to shit-talk them until they're on the verge of tears.
Do you ever shut the fuck up?
Eventually, they leave, and we find a counterfeit bill in my pocket. I don't know where it came from, but someone must have put it there after I was shot.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
After all that, we head to Hello Work to try and find a job. Unfortunately, not many places are hiring convicted murderers, so we're shit out of luck. To make matters even worse, this alcoholic guy keeps calling us losers, so we beat him to death. Impressed by how effectively we just broke that man's jaw, the manager of Hello Work decides to give us a chance, and he sets us up with a job at a local brothel. I was hoping this would be the start of a sex work minigame, but instead we spent the entire next cutscene cleaning cum out of all of the bedrooms. And just as I'm about to eat one of the tissues, we get interrupted by a bunch of incels. This is Bleach Japan. They like to protest cool things like being poor and getting your dick sucked at a brothel. Anyway, we scare them off with a bucket of semen, but that's not the last we'll be seeing of them.
Foreshadowing is a narrative.
The owner of the brothel was thankful for all of our hard work, so she offered to let us live in one of her spare rooms. Finally, a good night's rest.
This thing is $300. Just lube it up.
Well,
While we're fast asleep, a large man breaks into our bedroom and starts dominating me. Unfortunately, it's just Adachi. He survived his fistfight with a helicopter, but it cost him his job, so he decided to join the ranks of the homeless and move in with us. In summary, we are a 42-year-old convicted criminal who is splitting rent on a sex closet covered in cum with two homeless guys. This realization was enough to trigger what is called first episode psychosis. Basically, Kasuga can't cope with reality anymore, so he starts hallucinating the world around him. That's not a baseball bat stuck in the ground. That's an enchanted weapon that can only be wielded by the chosen one. And I'm not using it to beat up a group of innocent salarymen. I'm using it to defend the city from anomalous creatures of the night. Namba and Adachi aren't psychosis maxing like we are, but they're surprisingly supportive of it.
Takes a certain kind of crazy to want to be a hero anyway.
Now finally, with a roof over our heads and an untreated mental disorder, we can engage in the real Yakuza gameplay. Sub-stories. Small self-contained quests where you come to realize you're actually one of the more normal people in the city. There's a total of 52, so let's go through a few real quick. First things first, encounter a man being robbed for his baby formula. That's unusual, I thought to myself as I beat his attacker into a coma. Time to investigate. Holy shit, we've just stumbled upon a Yakuza baby gang, and they're not too happy with us. But much like real babies, they display a profound weakness to flamethrowers and blunt force trauma. After pacifying them, we bond over the shared experience of fatherhood, and that's exactly when they say the words that no grown man wants to hear.
Boys, get this man a diaper.
Moving on. Take a walk down the street. Adachi picks up a flyer from an escort company that says the first call gets free service. He calls very fast. But instead of a woman of the night, we get a large black man from the rooftops. This is Gary Buster Holmes, and he's one of many pound mates you can call for backup whenever you're in a fight. Honestly, way better than a prostitute. Next quest. Walk over this bridge. Find a stupid crab thing. Let's see if I can hit that lamppost. Damn, kind of weak-armed it. Oh, sorry, sir. That was your pet? Your only beacon of hope in this cruel, dark world? Alright, fine. I'll go find her. Here's your dumbass crab.
Nothing like the first crunch of a fresh crustacean.
What?
Here goes! Hold on a sec.
Sir, I have developed an intense parasocial relationship with that shellfish, and I will trade you gas station sushi for its life. Done deal. Nancy has just been unlocked as a pound mate, and she's one of my favorites.
I love it. Plague of Pincers.
On to the next one. Go to a soup kitchen. Beat up the clientele for XP. This homeless guy wants our help getting laid. First step, get a job, you filthy man. Okay, selling tissues on the sidewalk is a little weird, but it's a start. Now, ask that girl out on a date. What's that? She already has a boyfriend? He's handsome and he beats her? How can you compete? Answer, you don't have to, because I've just electrocuted him to death in broad daylight. Mission accomplished. Next, this cop wants our help catching a public urinator. That's easy, officer. Those three are jerking off, and that guy's pissing. I go to confront the pisser, which is when he makes the universal NPC gesture for I am about to get my ass kicked. Then he does. Apparently, urinating in this river was his passion, his entire life's work. He even calls himself the Piss Wizard.
Haven't you ever wondered what it's like To drizzle into nature's sweet embrace.
No, man, you're weird as hell, and that's coming from a schizophrenic. Officer, take this guy to jail. Next quest. This absolute buffoon is having a hard time processing his wife's death, which has manifested in him blocking the street with a giant pile of trash. Uh-oh, that's a violation of city ordinance. Adachi, show him what we do to lawbreakers in this town.
No mercy!
Turns out some good police brutality was all that guy needed, because he cleaned up his act and now runs a successful pawn shop selling nerve gas and hand grenades. This is the gentrification I desire. Lastly, let's hit the slot machines. Pick any machine, doesn't matter which. Read the instructions carefully.
The gods shall
A
wait.
wild beast came red.
Oh my God, my eyeballs!
Got all that? Good.
My-
Go ahead and lose all of your money. Now that we are thoroughly
Pachinko machines, like, I'm still traumatized. Like, I get PTSD. Because, what... Because for some reason, Konami, if you remember, decided that the best way to move forward with some of their best-known franchises was to basically have pachinko machines and maybe some shitty games. And that was it. I'm still traumatized by that. Like, what the fuck? Like, they're trying to salvage their shit now, especially with the Silent Hill franchise. Like, they're trying to come back with all that. But I'm not gonna forget what the fucking pachinko machines. I'm not gonna forget. Oh my God. They're putting pachinko machines. They're trying to just slither them in everything, aren't they?
impoverished, we have the financial incentive to accept a sponsorship. This video is
here we
sponsored
go.
by War Thunder, the most complete vehicle combat game ever made. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations, and immerse yourself in the world of War Thunder, where realistic graphics, authentic sound effects, and extreme attention to detail bring to life the vivid experience of the battlefield. So go ahead and join over 70 million players in epic PvP battles. I'm serious, everyone is playing this game, and everyone has been playing this game. In fact, modern scholars have performed computed tomography scans of the Sistine Chapel and found that Michelangelo himself was dive-bombing enemy artillery while painting the creation of Adam. What makes War Thunder so good? Well, first of all, it doesn't have health bars like all those other baby games. It uses sophisticated damage systems where each vehicle is intricately and meticulously modeled down to its individual components, like engines, fuel tanks, and weapon systems. We have devoted millions of dollars and countless scientists to developing such complex damage models. There is a dark timeline where humanity has already cured the common cold but hasn't developed War Thunder, and that is a reality I
Yeah, I
cannot
love how
endorse,
it's
because War Thunder
this
has a
game
game mode
actually
for every
does
type
get
of
you
player. Want a
blacklisted
quick
by
game
that
of
shit.
shooting your friends? Play
Flagged by the
arcade. Looking
FBI,
for a
like, just
hyper-realistic
automatically.
experience to tell your
Us
therapist about?
watching this
Play
right
the
now,
realism
flagged
mode.
by the
But regardless
FBI.
of which you choose, you'll find the game to be very
Everybody
well
say hi to their
optimized.
FBI
So what are you
agent.
waiting for? Play War Thunder for free on
Hi,
PC,
FBI
PlayStation,
agent.
or Xbox.
Hi.
And for a limited time, if you use the link in the pinned comment, you'll get a massive bonus pack of free stuff, including the Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver, and 7 days premium access. Thank you, War Thunder. Now back to the video. We head back to Hello Work to get another job, making sure to beat up everyone else to receive faster service. Once inside, the manager takes one hard look at us and says, with conviction, male bathhouse. Not what I was hoping for, but when you're this poor, you can't afford to be picky. So we started making our way there. On the way, we are ambushed by a violent and sexually deranged man. With each gyration of his hips, I could feel my entire bloodline being dishonored. I knew this man had to die. The battle started with him performing a joyful jig, which made us more susceptible to venereal diseases. That's strange, I thought to myself, but his plan soon became clear after he started attacking me with his ass. That's when the baseball bat came out. Eventually, we managed to beat this sex
He be
criminal into
clapping them
submission, and
cheeks in
just
our
in time for
faces.
some kind of motorcycle accident scientist to stumble onto the scene. Turns out he's a taxonomist, and he has taken it upon himself to classify the mentally ill into a structural hierarchy in order to protect society.
Based.
That sounds promising, so I follow him back to his laboratory, where he displays all the signs of a normal man, such as having a wall covered in non-consensual female photography. The professor explains that these
Yeah,
people,
totally.
these creatures, are a threat
Totally
to world
sane.
peace, which he calls
Sujimon.
he wants to study them, collect data on their habitat and weaknesses, but every time he tries to do this, he gets the ever-living shit beaten out of him, which actually explains a lot. So he asks for our help. All we need to do is track down and physically annihilate the mentally disturbed, then scan them with the Sujidex to gather 3 digits on the back of their credit card. I agree to help, which is when the professor pulls out 3 men in differently colored suits and tells us to pick a starter Sujimon. I do not recommend naming them, because he makes you murder all of them immediately afterwards. Once that's done, the professor musters one last-ditch attempt to incite a lawsuit by staring straight into the camera and telling us this.
You gotta dispatch 'em all! Then you'll be the next Sujimon master!
Thank you, Professor. That was lovely. Anyway, back to the main story. We head over to the bathhouse and meet our new employer, a man named Nonomiya. A lot of dialogue happens here, but let me tell you, the sexual tension goes crazy. Long story short, our job is to investigate one of Nonomiya's employees, Nanaha, and find out why she's constantly missing work. But before we can do that, I have to deal with another protest from Bleach, Japan.
He thinks he can use violence to crush the voices of the people. He's obviously living in the past.
You gay bitch.
After that, they
Your
were in
name's
shambles.
you're-
We decide to search for
you're
Nanaha
literally
at a local
BJ.
cafe. On the
just-
way there, I assault a gang of metrosexuals before arriving at the cafe and finding Nanaha meeting with a strange man. This is where we activate the ability Essence of Eavesdropping. From what I gather, Nanaha's father is in a nursing home. This guy is asking her for 5 million yen to perform some kind of sex change operation on her old man, and he won't let her visit until she pays. Something is strange about all of this, but I can't quite put a finger on it. So
Oh,
we
God.
decide to investigate further by using our connections at Hello Work to infiltrate the nursing home. At first, everything seems normal, a peaceful facility with plenty of dementia patients. However, we accidentally stumble upon an old lady being executed. And I thought that was kind of strange. Turns out this entire place is being run by the Seru Clan. They take in old people and tell their family that they need expensive surgery. If the family pays, grandma survives. But if they don't pay, the Yakuza fucking kill her. Oh, and Nanaha's dad has about 1 day left before his surgeon accidentally mistakes a loaded handgun for a scalpel. So we need to save him
God
fast.
damn.
We beeline it to the nursing home, briefly getting ambushed by a gang of ambulatory garbage bags. After taking out the trash, we steal an
what's
ID
sad?
card and rush into the
Is that's not even really that outrageous. I could actually see that being a thing, like a legit thing. Like maybe not the exact con, but I could see that being an actual legit thing that's happening or that has happened.
operating room just in time to beat the surgeon to death. Ah, you're back for more.
Hey, what was that drug you were about to inject him with?
It was
Calm. Holy fucking shit.
Well, that confirms it. This place is killing the elderly and stealing their social security checks. But apparently it's okay, because massive dickhead Tatsuga of the Seru Clan says he's doing society a favor. Not to be contrarian, but I disagree.
No mercy!
Okay, that was a good start, but this dishonorable behavior needs to be punished more severely. So Tatsuga, I'm going to tell your boss. We hustle over to the Seru Clan HQ to snitch. However, when we get there, Tatsuga is already waiting for us with a new army of his finest ball washers. Fortunately, I've prepared for this contingency, because before coming here, I went to a nearby sex shop and traded in my baseball bat for an industrial-sized vibrator. Using this, we were able to fight our way through the compound. It was all relatively
God.
uneventful, apart from when this guy used a sofa to break Namba's spine and throw his corpse out a window.
Holy shit!
Nah, he'll be fine. Eventually, we make
He'll
it to the
walk it off.
chairman and explain how Tatsuga likes to surprise euthanize the elderly. Hoshino, an 800-year-old man, has a few objections, and they drag Tatsuga off to the penis explosion chamber. Following this, they frisk us, find my weird bill, and then Hoshino says some demented stuff and threatens us with a knife. That's okay though, because Kasuga is a deeply disturbed man who latches onto male figures, and the strength of our latching is directly proportional to each character's willingness to dominate us. So we like this guy. With all of that taken care of, we head back to the bathhouse to collect our payment from Nonomiya, but much to my shock, he spent all of our money on Halloween costumes. I'm sorry, that was silly. He's dead. While attending Nonomiya's funeral, we encounter Nanoha's twin, Saiko. She used to work for Nonomiya, and she was on the phone with him just before his death.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick.
To summarize, we're pretty sure a bunch of Chinese guys killed him at the request of their boss, Mabuchi. At this point, despite only knowing him for like a week, we collectively decide to avenge Nonomiya's death. But first, alcohol. We head to the bar, where the game attempts to introduce us to the new age concept of caring about other people's thoughts and feelings, because we now have access to the bond mechanic. And in order for our party members to reach their fullest potential, we have to pretend to be interested in their personal lives. What's that, Psycho? Your sister's boyfriend wants her to become a prostitute? That is terrible. Now shut up and put on this dominatrix outfit. Speaking of which, I should probably introduce the job system. For the first few chapters, we got to play such exciting classes as freelancer and homeless guy. But now we've got better options. For example, Saiko can be a night queen, Kasuga can be a break dancer, and most importantly, Namba can be a eunuch. Anyway, with all of that taken care of, we set out to search for Mabuchi, beginning in Restaurant Row. It's like Chinatown, but poorer. We focus our efforts on this club, and Saiko gets us in by pretending to be an escort. In hindsight, I spend a lot of time hanging around sex workers, but not having sex with them, which means I'm either a really chill guy or homosexual. Regardless, we get inside and find Zheng, who wants to fight us for the right to lick Saiko's armpit. Obviously, that is a concession I cannot make. So I call in a favor from a friend who emits a brain-melting frequency and incapacitates our enemies, thus allowing me to practice my drive on Zheng's testicles. After that, we press him for information, and he tells us Mabuchi has a shipping warehouse that we might be able to find him at. So we head over to Hello Work, which for some reason still hasn't banned us after we killed all of our co-workers at that last job. Long story short, they get us a gig at the warehouse, and we start tomorrow. So in preparation, I decide to have a topless cutscene with Saiko. It's me. I'm the topless one, and my god, are we ever ripped. I take this opportunity to let Saiko know that she is firmly in the buddy zone, and the only people that get to touch this body are my longtime subscribers. Unfortunately, Bleach Japan interrupts my Sigma grind set for the third time in a row.
Did you all see that? This thug's showing us his true
Alright, good. I think he's dead. Time to go to work. We head over to the warehouse and find out the Liumong are using it to import and print counterfeit money, and when we try to steal some for evidence, they really don't like that.
I still need to play this. Another game
We awake
series
5 hours later in what appears to be an Amazon break room, and much like an Amazon break room, we are chained to the ceiling and stabbed for not meeting productivity quotas. This man forcing me to suck his fingers? Yeah, that's Mabuchi. He admits to going behind his boss's back to kill Nonomiya and lure us into his territory. Now he's going to frame us as members of the Seru Clan and use our transgressions to justify a turf war. It's not looking good, but just as Adachi is about to experience a traditional Birmingham hello, this Korean guy saves him and lets us out of our restraints before running away. I don't know why he did that, but I do know I'm going to headbutt this minimum wage employee until one of us is dead. After that, we began our escape, which involved us killing an entire ecosystem of deranged sewer people. It went a little like this. Finally escaping the sewers, we learn that Mabuchi is kicking off the war by going around town and politely debating several Seru Clan members. More than a little upset about this, the Seru Clan is already en route to exact their vengeance, and it's our job to stop this from escalating any further. I know that sounds kind of like a time-sensitive thing, but it's also a great time to spend 9 hours farming the business management minigame, which is exactly what I did. You see, after escaping the sewers, we meet Eri. She's one of Nonomiya's old business partners, and when we explain that he fought and lost a battle against gravity, she enters a catatonic state. So I agree to help manage her company while she recovers. Right now, it's just a cracker shop being run by the mentally infirm and a chicken. But with a little elbow grease, you can turn this into a multi-million-dollar business. Just listen to my advice. The first thing you're going to want to do is take out several high-interest loans. Then, once that's done, reload the save, because I've just ruined your business. Now for real this time. We make money by purchasing other businesses and using human suffering to balance the 3 essential ingredients for manufacturing. That is product design, love, and most importantly, lead poisoning. Then you progress the fiscal year and either make or lose money. Time for the first shareholders meeting. I was a bit nervous, so I promoted a chimpanzee to senior director of the company and took him with me. Needless to say, it didn't go well.
Someone help me!
But in true corporate fashion, I still award myself a 60,000 yen bonus anyway. Okay, that was suboptimal,
Nice.
but I can fix this. Let's start by hiring some employees. Make sure to filter out the elderly and the pyrocynical subscribers. That leaves us with this guy, Goro Majima, who you may remember from such moments as honestly,
These
I think
fucking
that's exactly
games
what we need to turn this company
are
around. So hire
a
Majima and use him to
mind-melting
browbeat your
experience.
shareholders into submission by calling them retarded until they give up. Congratulations, you've just graduated from the sweatshop classification. Buy businesses, more businesses, even more businesses, more shareholders, more meetings. Shut up, ma'am, you're fat. New office. Bribe the government. Corporate tax, never heard of
I
them.
mean,
Then
as long
film an
as the
ad where you
chicken's okay.
smile at children. Congratulations, you're now making 400 million yen per month, and you're the #1 holding firm in the entire city. You might look at all of this and say, Reggie, you've compromised your morals. To that, I respond, maybe. But for a brief moment in time, we created a lot of value for the shareholders, and that is a beautiful thing. Now, let's bankrupt the entire company by spending 5 billion yen on mental health counseling for a chicken. It's finally over. And as the dust settles, one might ask themselves, why did we do that? Well, the novice entrepreneur might assume we did it for the 15 million yen, and the rookie investor might believe we did it for the ability to beat homeless people to death with a wad of cash. But they're both wrong. I spent 8 hours grinding that
Goddamn.
minigame so that the next time a schizophrenic man ambushes me on the street and tries telling me about the government listening device in his prostate, I can terminate that conversation by doing this.
Let's get nutty!
What? Are you fucking kidding me? Essence of orbital laser? Are you?
Alright, where was I? Oh yes, the turf war. We head to the Liamong HQ where we meet their leader, Zhao. This guy is Mabuchi's boss, and if your first impression of him is, wow, this character design is giving me cancer, then I'd have to say, welcome to the club. I tell Zhao that he's being deceived by Mabuchi, and that this war is complete bullshit, but I don't think we convinced him. Luckily, there might be someone else who can. The Koreans. So we head to the Korean district, which is renowned for its exposed electrical lines, unique architecture, and masked men who want to kill you. I cannot imagine how embarrassing it must be to die from this attack. These are members of the Komijul, the Korean mafia, and after mutilating them with a sledgehammer, participating in a photography minigame, and performing high-level platforming, we finally made it to their leader, who shows us proof of Mabuchi being an absolute dickhead. And they also let us in on a little secret. They're the ones counterfeiting money. But that's not all. Turns out Namba isn't actually homeless. He's just been following us to get closer to the Koreans because they kidnapped his brother. I consciously choose not to care about this and decide to help him escape. I mean, how hard can it be? We just have to beat up this K-pop guy.
So much is happening on screen. It's hurting my eyeballs.
Okay, so Gojo got hands. For my second attempt, I threw about 20 sticks of dynamite at him, and that seemed to do the trick. Namba escapes, and we are invited to a meeting to learn about how we're basically single-handedly destroying an entire city by accident. Arriving there, we see the leaders of each gang. Turns out, they're not really at war with each other. Well, except for the Mabuchi thing. That was real. Long story short, there's a corrupt politician named Ogi Kubo, and not content with his position as the world's greatest raisin impersonator, Ogi Kubo used his political power to pressure the Ijin 3 into becoming cogs in his counterfeiting operation. The Chinese import the paper, the Koreans make the bills, and the Seru Clan do the catering. I don't know, it's not really made clear. But the point is, the Ijin threesome is really an Ijin foursome. And if Ogi Kubo goes down, he's taking everyone with him, which would leave the city vulnerable to invasion by the Omi Alliance. Well, fortunately, it's not like there's some disgruntled homeless man who has the knowledge, motivation, and opportunity to leak this information to the press as a final act of retribution for the kidnapping of Okay, new objective. Find Namba before the Ijin 3 assassinate him.
Well,
Luckily for us,
shite.
there's only one place he could be hiding. The Bleach Japan headquarters. We arrive there to find
The
Namba, but
BJs.
also Mabuchi. Confused? You should be. I'll explain, but first, I have to get Employee of the Month.
Ass will be dead. Oh god. What in the squat?
With Mabuchi barely clinging on to life, he launches one final attack, Essence of Exposition. It goes like this. Mabuchi is working with the Omi Alliance, and he's trying to incite a civil war between the Ijin Three so that the Omi can invade. But that's not all. The Omi are also colluding with Bleach Japan. This alliance enables them to exert tremendous political pressure by using the fashionable idealism of Bleach Japan to influence public policies, while utilizing the criminal aspects of the Omi to do dirty work behind the scenes. But who organized all of this and why? One man, Rio Aoki. What's a Rio Aoki, I hear you say as you pensively check your notes? Well, remember the young master? Yeah, he's not dead. Turns out he resented being affiliated with the Yakuza so much that he faked his death, did a little identity theft, moved to America, bought a new lung from some Venezuelan kid, now he can walk, moved back to Japan, and became a very powerful politician. How did he become so powerful? Well, he used his criminal connections to become governor of Tokyo, talked a bunch of shit about fighting crime, then worked together with his dad, Masumi Arakawa, to sell out the Tojo clan to the police while inviting the Omi Alliance to fill the power vacuum. For Aoki's part, his crackdown on the Tojo skyrocketed his popularity, and for Arakawa's cooperation, the Omi awarded him a very high-ranking position as their acting captain, thus cementing Aoki's control over both the political and criminal spheres. Alright class, final question. Why did he do this? This is gonna sound silly, but remember when that stripper rejected him at the start of the game? Yeah, call that a formative moment, because now he basically wants to take over Japan so that people will finally think he's cool and hookers will have to stop bullying him. There's more layers to that, but for the sake of time, Rio Aoki bad. The only thing stopping Aoki so far has been our decrepit friend Ogi Kubo. He's in the same political party as Aoki, and he's been blocking Aoki's political maneuvers. But with Rat Namba snitching on us and Mabuchi causing a mutiny in Ijincho, Aoki finally has everything he needs to launch a full-scale invasion. In fact,
the invasion starts tomorrow.
Yeah,
before you go, don't forget to download War Thunder for free using my link in the description to receive all this free stuff. I'm serious, you should play War Thunder right now, or else Adachi will find you.
Yeah, okay, alright.
Alright, that's all for now.
Oh, fuck. Didn't mean to hit the microphone. That was a fucking mind trip. Oh my god. Alright, so I guess next time we gotta watch part 2. Oh, it's a fucking ow. My brain hurts after watching that. Like, there was so much happening on screen. So much.